Yeah, and something that you pointed out is the importance. I mean, the three of us are tied in this process, right? That it's working as a group, thinking as a group that helps to solve some of these issues, right? And we're going to get to a big one because there is a phrase in the special needs community, and it's this: countdown to 18. And that's because when the special needs person turns 18, they are considered legally as an adult. I mean, we always talk about special needs children, but I think we need to also realize that they are going to age into becoming adults, which means that all of their income, every benefit that they receive will now be calculated on their income, no longer on the parents' income. And so again, it's why it's important to establish the special needs trust ahead of time, right? So we have time to plan. And also some things that people don't think about, which is what is the estate plan of the other people in the family? Because if suddenly this special needs person receives a huge bequest from grandma, it could jeopardize their government benefits, right? So there is a need for a very nuanced approach to turning 18. And also, when I work with families and establishing a special needs trust, I always have them think through the difference between a guardian and a financial fiduciary, right? So your brother-in-law could be the perfect guardian for this special needs person, but they may not be the best trustee because they do not understand the complicated interplay between the government benefits that the person will receive and also the private funds that are in that trust and how to balance those things so that the government benefits are never compromised. So, Tatiana, when you're thinking about this 18 cliff, how do you advise your clients to move forward?
Yeah, so it's important that the extended family member understands the structure, right? Every gift, any inheritance should go into the trust rather than directly to the child.
Yes.
And that's, I've seen often actually people who want to gift are very careful. They ask and they ask the preference. If they don't know, then they will, consult with guardians or parents. I'll also say, depending on the net worth that family has, you have to remember whoever's going to take care of that child might have to need to have some money to take care of themselves as to provide for that child. So the trust has to account a little bit for that as well, right? There's something that trustee might have to use for himself to be able to maybe, I don't know, work less or provide special room for the child. Like there, it's not just only about the child needs, it's also how the child plays into that family that, that might never happen, granted, right? It could be with the same guardian, the same parents all the time. But if that does, if the trust is able to have that provision and the funding for that, that's often is a huge thing and people don't think about it. Although if the funds are limited, then that's a different conversations. That said, with life insurance, you can often get a good life insurance policy that can give you that pour over if the guardian is going to have to step in and take care of a child. How can guardian be compensated for that as well? So there could be other structures that are a little more complex that we can't address in today's call, but that could be also created. Yes, the goal is to really to coordinate public benefits and continue that longevity and continue that child receiving them, and not to disqualify, while also still have that ability to receive other help, because the government help is often very limited, right? That it only provides so much. So having that funding from the family is very crucial, especially if there would be time that the child will have to be institutionalized, and picking the institution that is maybe provides a better care, has a specialty to that specific disability, also could be more costly than a government provided institution. So financial planning can address those costs. You can figure out what is the lump sum that I need if I want my child to end up in that place or that place. Like, there is this concept of present value of that dollar that in the future the child will benefit from. So that is what I work with parents and the clients. So I think I've
And
answered
Susan,
it.
what
But
do you see with this age 18 cliff?
I felt it myself when my daughter went through it, and it is extremely important, right, for parents to know that if they don't have guardianship in place, that they won't have a voice at the table. They won't be heard, right? And so it's really important. And then I also talk to people about what resources are important, like you. Like, I wish I had known you, but I didn't know you then. If I did, I would have used you. But I knew, okay, I'm going to have an attorney do the guardianship and the first and third party trust. But I found a nonprofit to help me apply for Medicaid and SSI for her when she turned 18, right? And even like, okay, you get it, the paperwork ready to go 3 months before. And then the month they turn 18, for example, my daughter's birthday is on the 28th of the month. You can apply starting on the 1st of the month they turn. So really, knowledge is power. And I think you said it best, Sylvie. The collaborative effort of the legal, the financial, the emotional support, and especially in a divorce, my goal is to have them have the post-divorce bliss that they want and deserve, instead of the post-divorce headaches and even possibly post-divorce abuse that we certainly want to avoid. So if we can do it right the first time with the right professionals and hold their hand to get them through it, we're actually saving them a lot of time, money, and headaches down the road.
And I would like to add, Sylvie, you are
Well,
very thorough in your planning, so it's very important to have an attorney who's very focused and thorough and knows the ins and outs. That's what I seek out for attorneys that I collaborate with. The thorough in estate planning is everything.